Hi, my name is Ray, and welcome to Quiz Class. I'll be your host for this general knowledge quiz. Let's begin. If you were on the Spanish Steps, in which country would you be? Is it Italy, Spain, or France? You would be in Italy. What language has the greatest number of native speakers? Is that Spanish, Mandarin, or English? The correct answer is Mandarin. Which city in the world has the largest Spanish-speaking population? Is that Barcelona, Buenos Aires, or Mexico City? The correct answer is Mexico City. Which Renaissance artist has his remains buried in Rome's Pantheon? If you answered Raphael, you are correct. What is the name of the character that both Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. have portrayed? Sherlock Holmes, Jim Moriarty, or Dr. John Watson? They've both portrayed Sherlock Holmes. The fourth letter in the Greek alphabet is... If you answered gamma, you are correct. The Eternal City is the title of which city? Is it London, Paris, or Rome? The correct answer is Rome. Which country is Mount Kilimanjaro located in? Is that Indonesia, Tanzania, or Japan? It's located in Tanzania. In which year did the term baby boomer originate? Was that 1954, 1963, or 1970? The year was 1963. The periodic table has how many different elements? It has 118 different elements. Which popular piece of women's clothing did Alan Gant introduce in 1959? Was it pantyhose, poodle skirts, or strapless bodices? It was the pantyhose. Who was the first actor to portray the character James Bond? That actor was Sean Connery. Which world record reference book got its first publication in 1955? That was the Guinness Book of Records. In which country can you find the Chernobyl nuclear power plant? Is that in Russia, Ukraine, or Poland? It's in Ukraine. What is the name of the well-known singer from the 1940s and 50s who was also known by the nickname Old Blue Eyes? That singer was Frank Sinatra. A legendary boxer was originally named Cassius Clay, but he eventually went by what name? He went by the name Muhammad Ali. What was the term used to express the Beatles' rise in America? Was that Beatle World, Beatleland, or Beatlemania? The correct answer is Beatlemania. What did people listen to before CD players, cassette tapes, and 8 tracks? Was it the transistor radio, transmission radio, or radio wave radio? It was the transistor radio. What was the famous Chatty Cathy? Was it a talking teddy bear, a talking doll, or a talking cat? It was a talking doll. What was the name of the game played using bottle caps on a chalk-drawn square field? Was that hopscotch, Scully, or British Bulldog? The game was Scully. Which boy's hairstyle was popular in the 1950s? The quiff, the ducktail, or the French crop? If you answered ducktail, you are correct. What type of jeans were famous among the hippies? Low-rise, bell-bottoms, or ripped jeans? It's bell-bottoms. Who was the rising young star from the movie Rebel Without a Cause who was killed in a car accident in 1955? Was that James Dean, Dean Martin, or Marlon Brando? It was James Dean. What was the name of the tall U-shaped bicycles with banana seats? The banana cycle, the Stingray, or the U-cycle? It's the Stingray. What was added to every address in the United States by the United States Postal Service in 1963? Was it the zip code, IP address, or postal ID? It was the zip code. What was the title of the novel that was first published using a typewriter? The correct answer is Tom Sawyer. Dr. Jonas Salk created a vaccine in 1952 for what disease? It was for polio. Hawaii became a state in what year? 1939, 1947, or 1959? It was 1959. What was the slang term for a drive-in movie theater in the 1950s? Front pit, passion pit, or drive-through theater? It was the passion pit. Which kind of skirt was in style in the 1960s? The mini skirt, the circle skirt, or the pencil skirt? It's the mini skirt. Around what year did the theme park Disneyland open? Was that the 1970s, the 1960s, or the 1950s? It was the 1950s. What accident caused the first Superman actor Christopher Reeves to be paralyzed? Was that a car accident, a tapping accident, or a horseback riding accident? It was a horseback riding accident. Which rock and roll singer's daughter did Michael Jackson marry? Was that Elvis Presley, John Bon Jovi, or Bob Dylan? He married Elvis Presley's daughter. What act was implemented in the U.S. in 1964 prohibiting discrimination on the basis of race, national origin, color, religion, or gender? Human Rights Act, the U.S. Patriot Act, or the Civil Rights Act? The correct answer is the Civil Rights Act. Which Christmas treat contains molasses? Is that gingerbread, peppermint, or candy cane? It's gingerbread. In what country does A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens take place? It took place in England. Which war ended when Saigon fell in 1975? It was the Vietnam War. What are the first names of the Beatles' four members? Ringo, Paul, John, George, Roger, Paul, John, Anthony, or Josh, Paul, Georgie, Roger? The correct answer is Ringo, Paul, John, and George. What is known as the second most consumed beverage in the world? Is it tea, coffee, or milk? If you answered tea, you are correct. In what years did the Second World War, which is known as World War II, begin and end? 1928 to 1935, 1932 to 1942, or 1939 to 1945? The correct answer is 1939 to 1945. Who famously delivered the speech, "I Have a Dream"? The speech was delivered by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What does the acronym APA stand for? It stands for the American Psychological Association. Who was the Pope from 1978 to 2006? Was that Pope John Paul II, Pope John Paul I, or Pope John Paul VI? It was Pope John Paul II. What year was the hula hoop created? Was that in 1967, 1947, or 1957? It was created in 1957. Which term is the equivalent of arms in ballet in French? Sleeves, bras, or sweaters? Bra. Which motor company has the ad slogan, "Quality is job one"? Is that Ford, Chevrolet, or Volkswagen? It's Ford. What should a gift traditionally be made of on the first anniversary? Is that silver, wood, or paper? It should be made of paper. Which edition of Trivial Pursuit has questions from the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s? Is it the Baby Boomer edition, Gen X edition, or Millennial edition? It's the Baby Boomer edition. Which M&M color was chosen for packages in 1995 by the general public? Is that blue, red, or green? The color chosen was blue. The oldest national anthem is from which country? Is that Spain, France, or the Netherlands? The correct answer is the Netherlands. What protein does blood contain that makes it red? Let us know the answer in the comments. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button.